If you play Honkai long enough or invested in its lore, you probably recognize this man, Weld Young. He is the sovereign of Anti Entropy, an organization based in North America who fought the Honkai. Unlike Jigsaw, which relied on Valkyries as its elite warriors, Anti Entropy designed and built Honkai-powered mechs. Everybody knows that Anti Entropy has a long history with Jigsaw, as they were once part of Jigsaw, at least the general ideas. But not everyone knew exactly what happened back then, and what turned this into this. So, how did this happen? How did an innocent young boy turn into the first Herrscher? And why? To understand this, we need to go back to the year 1952. It was the year where the first major Honkai eruption happened in Berlin. The disaster devastated the city and took the life of more than 300,000 victims and gave birth to the first Herrscher. The Herrscher was captured by Jigsaw, and over the course of the next 3 years, Jigsaw conducted countless experiments on him to study more about the Herrscher. By the end of autumn 1955, he was transferred to a Jigsaw lab in London for additional inquiry. It was there that first Herrscher was given the name Weld by resident scientists Einstein and Tesla. Not long after Weld arrived in London, Einstein received a telegram message from Schrödinger at the Jigsaw North American branch about a previous era ruins they discovered under Yellowstone Lake. Together with Einstein, Tesla, and a Finn named Elias, who works as a lab assistant, Weld departs to the New World to check these previous era ruins that the North American branch discovered. During their ruin exploration, they stumbled upon the innermost part of the ruin, a strangely clean room with a strange message written on its ceiling. As they started to look for more clues, their team was split into two. One team would return to Europe to follow what the message had written, while the other would stay at North America to excavate the ruin. Due to Einstein's quick thinking, their team were able to trace the message and quickly found the remaining clues that is scattered around the United Kingdom, including a solium data that is found on a certain painting within the Royal Gallery. As it turns out, the solium data contains two things. The first one is an audio visual of HA, the one who left the message, and the other one is an encrypted message that would take 4 whole weeks to decipher, even by using the help of Ada, the supercomputer from previous era. During the deciphering process, Weld and the others will be having a holiday. However, before they begin their holiday, Tesla decides to drag Weld into a cemetery to feed some cats. It was there Weld met the off-duty Rihanna. Jigsaw is Valkyrie and the wielder of the Key of Creation, a beast flower. Oh, she also disintegrates Tesla's drone because she thought it was UFO. Nevertheless, Rihanna is forced to take responsibility as Tesla's personal lab assistant for a while. Meanwhile, at the Jigsaw North American branch, Edison is conducting an experiment to convert Honkai energy into ordinary energy. She dubbed this project as the Moonlight Throne Project, or will be also known as Selene Project. Fast forward a few weeks, the team is at the end of their holiday, so they decided to end it with a vacation. They are going to spend the rest of their holiday at a seaside resort in the middle of winter to unwind and relieve their stress. During their stay, Weld met with various other characters such as Margaret, the resort owner, Fuhua, the Jigsaw Valkyrie, and even Otto, the Schicksal Overseer himself. Walt didn't expect to meet Otto here, and they both have a small talk together. As it turns out, Otto wants to make Walt his successor, and stating that Walt has the potential to become the next Schicksal Overseer. But Walt doesn't believe anything Otto said because Otto is too full of himself and he cannot understand about Schicksal militaristic idea. As the team is about to leave the resort, Walt receives a gift left by Fuhua, a pepper spray. When the team returned to the lab, they got a report that the encrypted message inside the Solium has been successfully decrypted. The data revealed yet another trail to follow. It contained a message that read, "Follow the Freedom Trail, then visit Lexington in the midnight." With that said, the team flew back to North America to follow the Freedom Trail, and they found the recordings that were left by a previous era survivor about their gruesome defeat against the Honkai. But that's not the only thing. They also found a message telling them the exact location of where the 9th Divine Key were hidden. The 9th Divine Key, Star of Eden. So, after acquiring the 9th Divine Key, the team received news about an earthquake that happening in New York where Edison is located. This earthquake, however, is not your usual earthquake. It is radiating Honkai energy, similar to what happened in Berlin a few years ago. Upon hearing this omen of disaster, Walt, Tesla, and Einstein quickly departed to New York post-haste. On their way towards New York, they met Rihanna, who was just enjoying her holiday. Upon hearing the situation, she's combat ready and ready to assist the team on their journey. During their way to New York, they were relentlessly attacked by hordes of Honkai beasts. The attack became more and more frequent as they drew close to New York. So, before they entering New York, they took their time to rest and preparing some stuff. It was at that moment, Schrödinger appeared out of nowhere with a sign of Honkai mutation. Schrödinger arrived and accused Walt for being a Herrscher. She threatened to kill him. But before Schrödinger could do anything about Walt, a fight broke out between Einstein, who uses the 9th Divine Key, and Schrödinger. But psych, Schrödinger easily overpowered Einstein. Seeing this, Walt decided to assist Einstein on fighting Schrödinger. During this fight, Walt managed to control the Honkai energy within himself using his sheer will alone and became a fully awakened Herrscher who fought for humanity. Wait a minute. Where do I have seen it before? Anyway, as a Herrscher, he managed to buy enough time for Rihanna, who's fending off Honkai beast attack, to come and save Schrödinger using White Flower. After Rihanna successfully surprised Schrödinger mutation, Schrödinger explained about the incident and that her goal is to awaken Walt power and convince him to fight for humanity. Soon after the fight between Schrödinger and Walt ended, Tesla received a stray transmission, and turns out it was from Edison. Edison explained about the situation and that she herself is at her wit's ends from fighting the Honkai. Using a borrowed power from someone from another dimension, Edison held a ball of Honkai energy equal to 20,000 TNT and sacrificed herself to save New York. When they arrived in New York, they found Elias, and he explained why Edison's experiment went haywire. The reason is because Elias tampered with her calculation. He didn't know that it would result in this catastrophe. He did this because of Otto's order, as Otto held Joachim, Elias' son, as hostage. Otto doesn't want the experiment to succeed, because if it is succeed, then they will be able to convert Honkai energy into ordinary energy, so there won't be Honkai no more. As Elias explained this, Otto takes over Rena's body and kills him because he talks too much. The reason why Otto is able to take over Rena's body is because her body is already modified using Soulium by Otto. Now, Otto is in the mood for a killing spree and about to yeet the rest, but Schrödinger tries to hold him back using the white flower. Long story short, we have an epic battle between Welt and Otto. I'm not going to tell you the details because I cannot do the story justice, so I suggest you read it yourself. The battles ended with Otto's defeat, and as a final resort, he is planning to bomb New York with his special nuke. Fortunately, Welt and Rena were able to stop it by creating a shield covering the entirety of New York. But the cost for this was steep. Welt has to use every ounce of his power left to do so. On that day, the child named Joachim lost everything. His father, his hero, his innocence, and even his childhood. Tesla's and Einstein's body is changed forever from the white flower power. Schrödinger went missing in the Sea of Quanta. North America branch declared independence from Schicksal and renamed themselves Anti Entropy. Joachim inherited the power, the will, the ideals, and the name of his hero. He chose to tread the thorny path in the war against the Honkai. His journey has only just begun. That's the end of the video. If you enjoy it, please leave a comment below because I'm planning to continue covering stuff like this in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.